Darth Plagueis review series, where I'm covering my reviews of each chapter of Darth Plagueis as I read through the book for the first time. Well, mostly first time. The chapters I read before, I've already gotten through, so now it's definitely the first time. I've just read chapter 10, and before we get into that, here are the illustrations for chapters, 5 and 6. I'm afraid that I haven't got a chance to do any other ones. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to catch up in time for the end of this series, but we'll see. Maybe I'll upload a video containing all those illustrations if I go up to the epilogue. Anyway, my thoughts on the chapter. I personally enjoy the chapter. It was a good chapter, and we get to see just how Plagueis is taking his time with Palpatine. He's being that figure that Palpatine is able to open up to that he doesn't have in his life, and you see Plagueis really taking in that information and really considering just how perfect he will be for the Sith Grand Plan, the Sith Imperative, and we really see how, I guess, enamoured he is with Palpatine. And then we get on to the Gran. Again, this is this is the chapter that, this is another one of those chapters where it's long, it goes on, but there's not a whole lot to really talk about in it. Then we get to a pod race with the Gran, I think with the Gran Senator, I think his name is Pam Teak, and we get to see him getting really frustrated and how, how he's pretty much trying to sabotage the mutants' plans to transport plasma from Naboo and build the facilities there for it. And then when they finally do get back to Naboo, Magister Damask is whisked away by the Royal Guard to Kasinga Palpatine's, I'm going to say, estate, to Kasinga's home, who is the father of Sheev Palpatine, and they have a little bit of a chat, and he reveals some past history on what was his name? I really like saying his name. What's his name? And he says, hold on a moment. What's his name? It's something like Falapa. What's his name? Tapalo. There we go. Sanapo. And he talks about a bit of history between a war against Gungans and mercenaries that happened about 2 decades after the war between the Naboos and the Gungans, and how Tapalo, and about how the Tapalo house funded the mercenaries and they lost, and we get to see a bit more about we get to see from Kasinga's perspective. We've got to keep that in mind, Kasinga's perspective of what would probably happen if he were to become king. I personally like to keep it open-minded, so that's why I'm saying Kasinga's perspective. Even if it may end up being a really true perspective, I still want to say his perspective, and you never know in these stories. So, and how he wouldn't really he would be working more for the wealth and gain of profit rather than the well-being of the planet and its inhabitants. And you see, and Plagueis, he starts to tease him a little bit. He starts to get a little bit playful with him. And so it is clear that I don't think Plagueis and the banking clan are really going to go back on their deal with Talapa. I've forgotten his name again, but you know who I'm talking about. The one that Palpatine, that House Palpatine's got is trying to get rid of. You know, I'll just told you about. Anyway, we gotta get to see how Plagueis is modest and complimentary, but once Kosinga starts to get a bit angry at him and things, it's a bit more dismissive, it's a bit more playful with Kosinga, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's trying to test him. And in quite a contrary to what Sheev said about his father, Kosinga is portraying, I guess, love for Sheev, which does make me wonder, is that a facade that he's putting on to try and dissuade Plagueis from Palpatine, from Sheev? So that is a bit of an interesting thing, because that is quite contrary to what we've heard Palpatine talk about and say. I'm losing my words here. But it was a good chapter. It was an enjoyable chapter. I know I say that in almost each one of these videos, but it was a good chapter. It's quite funny to see Plagueis, I guess, even though Kosinga's taking this really seriously, he's a bit like the toy maker from Doctor Who, if you know that. He's a little bit playful, but he's got a lot of sinister motives behind his words, and you see Plagueis making a threat to Kosinga, talking about what happened to a poet that Kosinga brought up to him, and it's revealed that he was taken away by silence and was never seen again. And Kosinga catches on, "Oh, are you trying to threaten me?" And then Plagueis gets a bit smug and cheeky about it and goes, "Well, I thought we were talking about history. I was just thinking, well, what would happen if Thalia, or whatever his name is, well, if Thalia, or whatever his name is, decided to actually won the election." Of course, clearly he's properly thinking about what he would do with Kosinga, but we're getting to see a little bit more of Plagueis' character. We've seen his negotiable side. We've seen his leading side. We've seen his curious side. We've seen how manipulative he can be. He can be a bit impulsive. How we're getting a little bit. We're learning a little bit that he's a bit. He gets a bit teasy. He can joke a little bit, but in a serious manner. It's dark humour, and we're really getting to see gradually. We're not getting it quickly, but gradually we're getting little nuggets of Plagueis' character that is quite interesting to see, and it's quite an enjoyable thing to see. We still have 2 more chapters left in this part, but I'll be really interested to see just how Plagueis is going to take up Palpatine as his apprentice, and I know Palpatine's family dies at his own hands, Palpatine's hands, so we're clear, so I'll be interested to see how that works out. I assume it's despite Kasinga's warnings, the banking clan will stay on Naboo. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Now we're getting into theorising, aren't we? But yeah, I think that's what will probably happen. That the banking clan and Damask Holdings are still going to operate on Naboo and support Stolia or whatever, or what was it, Follower? Oh, I can't remember his name, and I really like saying it as well. What was it? But yeah, I personally enjoyed the chapter. I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens. This is the thing with Plagueis. Now that I'm actually really starting to properly read into it, I haven't gotten past those chapters that I found a bit chapters 5 and a bit of 6, and it's starting to get really interesting, especially this chapter, not this chapter, chapter 7. I think that was an interesting deviation from what we've seen in the books so far. It felt like Plagueis going on side quest, but and this feels like now we're probably moving the story. And was it chapter 8? No, it was chapter 8. It's not chapter 7. But you know, it's we're really getting into stuff here, and I think it's getting interesting, and I just want to read more of it, honestly. I really do. I want to finish the book, so that's all I can really say. That's all I have left to say, really. Come back again next time. Don't have a schedule for these. I'm pretty much just recording them after I've read them. In some cases I'll wait to do my review before actually recording my thoughts, but like in a episode, like in the prologue in chapter 1 and chapter 4, 5 and 6. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Come back next time to hear my review of chapter 11. Is it 11? I think it's 11. Yes, it's chapter 11, and then I'll only be one chapter. Once I finish that, I'll be one chapter away from part 1, and I'll be done with what is basically the equivalent of the first book in a trilogy. So I will probably be changing the picture you see on screen of Darth Plagueis for each part. I think I'm going to be using the Essential Legends Collection cover next for part 2, so just to keep it fresh, and you know, so yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm blabbering on for too long now, and goodbye.